17 cool DIY tool hacks you need in your life. Circle gets the square. Here's a magical way to trace perfect arcs and circles for your project. Tap to finish nails at the ends of a desired diameter, then rotate a framing square against the nails while holding a pencil in the square's corner. Spray the underside of the square with silicone or rub on some paraffin oil to make it glide smoother. Here's another way to cut circles with a yardstick. Customize Chuck key. Measure the diameter and length of the Chuck key's handle and drill a matching hole in the end of a foreign X 3/4 in diameter with dowel. Then hold the handle in a vise and tap the dowel onto the chuck with a hammer. The advantages: besides no longer scraping your fingers on the gears, you'll have increased leverage with less effort and a much more comfortable grip when tightening the chuck. Flush cutting hacksaw. Here's how to trim dowel plugs flush on fine furniture projects without damaging the wood. Apply a couple layers of masking tape or a single layer of duct tape to a hacksaw blade with an untaped section between for sawing. While you're sawing, the tape elevates the blade just enough so it won't scratch the surrounding wood. After sawing, lightly sand the dowel to make it completely flush. Last-ditch nail pulling. If you're trying to pull a nail and the head breaks off, try gripping the nail tightly with a pair of locking pliers. Then pull against the pliers with a crowbar. Long-reach screwdriver. When you need to extend the reach of your cordless drill, just pull the shaft out of a multi-bit screwdriver and camp it in a chuck. How easy is that? Longer-lasting utility blade. Most often, it's just the tip that gets dull on a utility knife. When it does, snap off the tip with pliers, and you're in business again. Wear eye protection, because sometimes a little piece of the blade goes flying. Mini drywall saw. A coarse jigsaw blade mounted in a scrap of wood makes a handy little drywall saw. It's easy to carry and is good for cutting round electrical boxes and other tight spots. No dent nail finishing. Avoid denting your project with the help of a simple wood shim. With a thin blade saw, saw a narrow curve into the end of the wood shim. Then press a finished nail into the slot. Hold the shim against the molding and drive in the nail. The soft wood shim lets you deliver a final firm blow so the nail head is nearly flush with the surface. PVC sanding files. To sand concave curves to perfection, transform PVC pipes into sanding files. Wrap a PVC pipe with your choice of sandpaper using spray adhesive. Spray both the paper and the pipe for a good stick. When the sandpaper wears out, simply pull it off and spray fresh adhesive to attach a new strip. Make your own awl. An awl is great for punching small holes and drywall for plastic screw anchors. An awl pushes through easily, resulting in much less dust than drilling. Store-bought awls are usually too small for this task, so make your own by grinding a sharp tip onto the end of an old, worn-out screwdriver using a disc sander or bench grinder. Wrench for rounded bolts. Loosen bolts with worn, rounded heads with a pipe wrench. The pipe wrench jaws dig in and grab the head so you can remove the bolt. Hang your roofing tools. Use spring clamps to keep your hoses, extension cords, and other tools and materials from sliding off the roof. Don't try this on brittle or scorching hot shingles, or you may damage them. You can create a handier hook by sticking the clamp in a vise and bending up one of the handles. Clamp with a tie-down strap. If you need to clamp boxes together, a ratchet tie-down strap can often do the job just as well as band clamps. Just make sure to protect the wood under the ratchet and hooks with cardboard. Mix concrete with a rake. Try using a garden rake instead of a hoe the next time you have to mix concrete. The rake won't splash as much water over the edge, and the tines do a good job of combining the water with the powder. With a hoe, you waste a lot of time just pushing powder around the tub. Make mini roller covers. Next time you're in the paint department, pick up a 3-in roller frame, the type that fits the same diameter cover as a standard 9-in roller. You can then cut any 9-in roller cover into 3-in covers to fit it. Mark the 9-in roller covers 3-in from each end. Cut into equal pieces with a hacksaw. holding the cover steady with a bar clamp. Trim the rough edges of the nap with scissors. Use a level to extend your table saw fence. The only way to achieve a perfectly straight cut is to keep your material tied up against the table saw fence. But that's hard to do when you're cutting a large sheet of plywood on your own. Extending the fence with a 4FT level will make it easier to keep the plywood on a straight and narrow path as it approaches and passes through the blade. Hold the level in place with a couple of clamps. Use a drill to dig through hard soil. If you're working on an outdoor winter project, you might be faced with frozen ground that's as tough as concrete. Use a drill with a masonry bit to dig straight through the hard soil.